Why don't you open up more locations to like Escapist CrossFit? This is a question I get sometimes from visitors, but also from our members, especially from members that are moving away from Berlin. They actually ask me, hey, do you have a location in Hamburg, Munich, or in somewhere else? And the answer is no, we don't have any locations in these other cities. And that kind of poked me into today's podcast, where we're going to talk about a bit of like the goal setting, where we want to go, and the vision, and why I do this, and why Escapist does this. And if you are new to this channel, then please like and subscribe. And also, I post these videos and podcasts every Monday because I was looking for a podcast that I wanted to tune in every Monday when I was going to work or so. So this is like your never start over podcast theme, is that every Monday we kick off with a new theme that kind of sets us off for a good direction of the week. Right now I am in Finland, in Tampere in Finland, and I'm half Finnish, half Swedish. Live in Germany, as you might know, as you might not know, but this is kind of where I, grew up and where I came from. So it's very nice to be here and to reflect, and you get into this kind of reflection mode of what is the goal here, where are we going now when we move forward. And I like to have this time to kind of reflect, which I think is very important for me, but it's also very important for Escapist and where Escapist is going to go. And this is where I get most of my revelations of like what the goal here is. And the vision of Escapist has been for many years now that we want to have and help and change the life quality for 70,000 people in West Berlin. And the question is sometimes like, why? And why 70,000? Why not like 1,000? What is like, why that kind of number? So I'm going to go through that a bit today, but I'm going to start with some numbers. And the numbers in Charlottenburg, like locally in Berlin today, is that on an average, men 63% or and 63.5% of men are overweight, and about 60%, 50 to 60%, depending on where you look, of women are overweight. And among adolescents, like younger people, that number has gone up, from 10% to 20% and getting closer to 30%. And in Germany in total, we have about 11% and rising of diabetics. And this is all lifestyle problems that happens because of lifestyle. It's not because people are bad or that people are lazy. This is a common misconception, but it's actually that the structures around us are not supporting the health that we want to have. On the other hand, we have Germany's costs for healthcare, living, everything goes up every year. Every year we have now new announcement of like that the German Krankenkasse wants to go up. And now, just like this another week, a week ago, the German government went out with saying like every self-employed now also has to have mandatory, um, Versicherung, meaning which you already have, but now they want to add this Renteversicherung and gesetzliche Versicherung, which means like you will be mandatory to pay full taxes now. And since I work with businesses all over the world, I also get some kind of input of what people pay in taxes in other countries. And for example, in the US, that there are many misconceptions, especially in Germany, that Americans pay a lot for their healthcare, and they do. But when I compare with many business owners there, they actually pay less than Germans do, but get more for it. And what I in general see is that a normal person that is a working bee in Germany who's employed pays way more than somebody who would do in the US. And I'm not saying because the US is better or so, but I'm saying that we have an opportunity to improve in Germany for sure. And I think it comes back to, for us, to take that self-responsibility and becoming healthier and fitter ourselves. And that will drive down the cost for healthcare overall. Now, since this is kind of a hidden tax for most people, because you cannot really affect that yourself, I understand people don't really do anything actively more than, they do the training because they like it, but prevention training, not as much. You mostly do it when you really land into a pain and something more acute, or something more acute happens in your overall life, and that kind of makes people to want to work on their health fitness more proactively, and they want to invest in it more. Or like, I know many business owners that do it because they know if they're healthier, fitter, they actually have better output in their business and in their jobs, and that has a huge impact on their staff. Like if you're a business owner, you have about 200-300 employees. If you'd make a bad decision, it like really affects the lives of 200-300 people at least. So being healthier and fitter is just like the common responsibility that you want to take as a business owner then. But we can work on this together, and this is why I set this target, that we want to reach this 70,000 people and improve the quality of their lives in West Berlin, because we can do that locally. And the idea is how to get there in these next 30 years is by having obviously like a yearly impact on everyone that is joining the gym, but they also become lighthouses in their close nearby, meaning everyone they know has a positive effect of them being healthier and fitter. So this is why we want to have clients coming in and really change their lives, and that takes about 2-3 years for most people, and they become these like lighthouses for their friends, family, their work colleagues, their employees of their own businesses. So it has this multiple effect. And 70,000 is 3.5% of the population in West Berlin. And that is where it comes from. And it comes from social studies that we have been able to see that about 3.5% is the pivoting point where a minority can have a positive impact or a negative impact on the majority of the population. Now we have something that is really skewed in our environment that is working against us, though. So this is why I do these videos, I do the podcasts, that we do content, is because everything is really stacked up against what we do. So, for example, the reason why we are not having multiple locations in Escapist, which we could have, is that it's a very people-intense business, meaning we have to have staff and we need to employ these staff. But every time we hire a new coach, we are on the risk of going bankrupt. This is how fine line it is to run this kind of business. And it has to do with like a bit of the tax systems, has to do with real estate and so on. And I'm not saying this because I want to complain. I want to just share like how the gamification of this is. Like these are the rules that are set, and when you have a people intense business, it works very slow. And the only way for us to reach our numbers faster is to have more people that would like to invest in the things that we do at Escapist. And we can do that in multiple ways. It's about talking about the Escapist, growing the Escapist organically, but it's also by working with investors and stuff like that, maybe in the future. So that would allow us to expand faster. And this is also somewhere where you can help. You can help us to find better places, better locations, investors, people that can want to help Escapist grow. And not everyone knows those people. If I know, I definitely talk to them, but it has to be a good fit and somebody who believes in what we want to do and achieve. And my job is obviously to help and find the good people out there that also believe in this. And this has become more and more of my role at Escapist, and I want to help everyone to find their best place that they can be at and have this impact locally for us. So when it comes to the next, iteration and the next years of Escapist, we're in year 9 now. So we're soon going to turn 10. So we're on a good way and path of this mission. And I strongly see in the future that we can work this to become something that is really, really big and impactful via some of the systems that we built with the Momentum program, with the Momentum method that we strongly try to implement and nurture you as a member, but on the people that join our gym. I see this as like installing a software that becomes self-going, and this is how we're going to have this kind of impact in the future. And what I would like to, from you as a listener, how you can help is just help to guide the people that need our help to us, and we will try to figure out how to help them. And also, what I wanted to share, and have some transparency, is that you understand that we're not a high margin business out there. How the system is set up is the best margin business out there to make these kind of things happening, so people can have full-time jobs and so on. The system is skewed to having businesses without people, meaning and to sell stuff that are instant gratification, meaning vape stores and all that kind of stuff that gives you instant gratification, no staff, high leverage on the inventory, meaning you buy these cigarettes that are, maybe a 1 cent cost and you sell them for 10 euros. That is like the high margin business. And the goal is not to prolong life or do anything like that, but it's to give an instant kick and you get people to consume that. And that's not a kick against vape stores. There are multiple other examples there, but I'm just saying this is how the game is kind of rigged. So if you want to help us to rig this more into the things that we think will improve life for people, really, is by being that lighthouse. Talk about us, guide people to us, and that will really help us. So if you're local in Berlin, feel free to reach out. We have a good team that will help you to feel and reach your goals. We have, for people that are looking into becoming professional coaches, so when we have the coaching academy, the Escapist Academy, where we help people to get experience, to get really good methods of coaching and becoming really good coaches and understanding a lifetime of coaching and a career that follows on top of that. So this become a real job and not some kind of side hustle. And for those that are not local in Berlin, feel free to reach out. We also have a group for that where you can come in and contribute and be a part of this journey. I appreciate you listening to this episode, and if you thought this was somehow helpful, send a message, like and subscribe, send it to somebody you think it would help, or maybe give some kind of help and indication. Maybe not this episode, maybe something else. We always look for feedback, and I look for your feedback. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and see you next week on Monday.